Des, congratulations on the radio show.
Oh, thanks, so.
How did that come about?
Well, I've known John Jessup for a few years now. John heads up the show, the station at Coast.
Yeah.
And he mentioned to me once that they'd do a fancier slot, you know. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. And originally it was going to be a Monday night slot. But then he said that if I wanted to wait for a bit, there might be an afternoon show coming up on Sunday afternoon, which kind of fits in better for me. And I think it's a good time slot too, 4 till 6 on a Sunday, you know. So we started, I think it was November last year. And I'm enjoying it, I am.
I find that what's happening, what's amazing, is the listenership's going up every week.
Yeah.
And now you're getting a queue for guests to be on your show.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's a queue, but yeah, there's still quite a few.
You've had a few good.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, from a guest point of view, I want it to be like a platform for local performing artists.
Local talent.
Yeah. Local talent, yeah. Whether that be singers, actors, playwrights, directors. Yeah. You know, it doesn't really matter as long as they're in the performing arts. I want them on the show, you know.
Do you know what I think's great about it? Is it's the accessibility. Like I actually believe with these small radio stations that they've got local accessibility, but a global reach you've got.
Well, this is now because it's internet-based station.
Yeah.
About 6 weeks ago, there was a guy from Tokyo.
Yeah.
Listening in, I found that amazing, you know. We had Joanne Lee Evans, the singer, on. And her fella was on a stag weekend at the time. And all the lads from Spain were listening in, you know, all his mates from Spain. And it was great, you know.
Do you know what I think is magical about the whole thing? It's the fact that it's like radio's come a full circle. It's like radio was years ago, where anyone can walk off the street and say, this is what I do, this is my record, this is my CD, or this is my comedy. And you give them a go, you know what I mean? And that used to happen on local radio stations when they were small, before they all become this big conglomerate. Yeah. That used to happen years ago. And my belief with the likes of Coast, is it 10?
1079, Coast 1079.
Coast 1079.
Yeah.
What I actually believe with that, with these kind of radio stations, is they're going to discover the next Loretta Lynn or the next Bob Dylan, because it's purely because the accessibility. Now, if an artist goes to one of these big radio stations, there's too many gatekeepers, and they're not going to get heard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fully understand how the radio, you know, how it works in that way. What I've learned off John Jessup.
Yeah, he's brilliant, John.
And the good thing about John, he's always willing to give anyone a chance, you know.
Yeah.
And I will say that about him. And, you know, John does the magazine show.
He's got a passion for music though, hasn't he? Himself.
He's absolutely authority on soul and Motown and that, you know.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of guests in himself, you know, unsigned acts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And giving them a chance.
Yeah. So you say your show's going from 4 till
6 every Sunday. Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, what's the format of that show? What happens is the first hour, I believe you bring the guests in slowly.
Yeah, but the guest is there from the start. When I started out, they were just there for the second hour. Yeah. But now I have them on from the start. And in the first hour, there's certain things I do every week. But I bring the guests in on everything, you know.
Yeah.
And in the second hour, it's basically all about them. And we reach. But the main thing about the show is we just have a laugh.
Yeah.
You know, it's just got to be fun.
I've been listening in, it's great.
Well, why do it if it's not a laugh, you know?
I know there's one feature on the show which is proven to be really, really popular, and that's top 5 before 5.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
well, what I'm doing, I'm trying to in the first hour of the show do certain things every week. Like I have silly laws from around the world. I do that every week.
Silly laws from around
the world. I have a bit of a laugh with that. And a top 5 before 5, I do after the 10 to 5 break.
Yeah.
And it's just the top 5 of anything, you know. But people have been interested in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just had it as a feature in the show.
Yeah.
So it could be the top 5. Like this week, for this week's show, it's the top 5 recording artists of all time.
Yeah.
You know. So I have a top 5, different top 5 every week,
Yeah.
basically. But it's just a regular on the show now,
Yeah.
so I kept it in, and people like it, you know.
Like a little pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it when the guests have a go,
Yeah.
because they have not a clue what it's going to be, you know.
That's what I've noticed about the show. You pull the guests kind of in, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And get them involved.
Yeah.
And asking them questions
Yeah.
about how old do you think someone is, or...
Yeah. I always kick off with birthdays, you know.
Yeah.
And wish everyone happy birthday. It's the birthday today, and you share it with, and these celebrities, you know.
Yeah.
And get the guests to, ask the guests to guess their ages. We have a bit of a laugh with that.
Well, first hour you pull them in a bit, but the second half of the show, you kind of put the spotlight
I like to
onto the guest.
I like to concentrate on the guests.
Yeah.
And I only have one question planned, and I just say, how did it all start for you? And we go from there.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that it's unscripted makes for a better show.
What I think is different about it, more like, I know like you've got your guests on and you might play their records and you'll talk about their records, but you also actually have people, if they want to, some of your guests, they actually perform live acoustically with the guitar. Yeah,
I had John Prosser, who we both know on a few weeks ago.
He's good, talented.
Good lad, John, and he brought his guitar with him.
Yeah.
And I just went into it, you know.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think it makes good radio.
Yeah, it does, live music.
Yeah, live everything, yeah.
But these internet stations have become more like radio was years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the people are involved. It's not just like... I know you put some radio stations on now. It's like just putting... It's just a recording of music after each other.
Yeah.
And there's no interaction, there's no people.
Yeah.
All you've got is the music, adverts, music, adverts, music, adverts.
Yeah.
And then maybe the news. And that's another great thing about your station. You kind of don't have the same current affairs. You don't do the news, do you?
No, we don't. And
stick with the
it's great for me that, because I'd always be missing it. But what I like about the show, that the fact that it's live.
Yeah.
You know,
Anything
and it's well, yeah. But the fact that it's live, it's going out live, and it has an edge to it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. I think it's great.
When you do it, are you self-op or do you have a producer?
No, self-op.
You do it all on your own?
Yeah.
You're all right with all them buttons? And
well, I am now. I mean, at first it was like flying a plane, you know, when you're being in the studio yourself, you know what it looks like. But as you get into it, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Did you jump in at the deep end and become the pilot, or was you a co-pilot?
No, I was... I went down for a couple of sessions with John.
Yeah.
And John just says, yeah, watch this. And then that's it. Yeah. And you're in at the deep end, basically, you know. But I think it's the best way. I think he does it that way, so you learn quick. Yeah. And and you have to learn quick when it's live, you know.
Yeah. The listenerships, though, it's, even the official Gauge figures, aren't they? The official Gauge figures.
I mean, you know, I don't fully understand that side of it, you know, but just at the minute, the station are happy, and I'm happy, and, you know, I'm sure they'll tell me if they're not, you know. But I'm really enjoying it, you know.
Yeah. And any guests for the future plan? Tell us about your past guests. Who have you had on? That you said you had John Prosser on.
Yeah, John was on. Well, see, I'm quite lucky in getting guests because of me involvement in the club game.
You used to be a comp in the Dockers Club?
That's right, the Dockers Club, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's closed down just maybe 2 years ago, you know. But I know all the acts anyway. Yeah. And I get on with most of them. So I just phoned them up and said, do you want to come on? So I've had that loads on, John Dolan. Yeah. And sadly, I had Mickey Finn planned to come on. Yeah. On the weekend he went into hospital, you know. So I was gutted that never came up, because that would have been a great interview, you know.
He was brilliant.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I'd worked with Mickey Finn when I was a drummer years ago, yeah. He was great.
He was good lad, and I got on with him on a personal level, you know. And he didn't tell jokes, he performed jokes,
Yeah.
and that's what made him up there. You know, he was really good lad. I liked him.
And like yourself, he was a good actor, wasn't he?
Yeah, yes. I've been to see a few plays that he was in. Night Collar, the L.F.C was in that first time round, you know. And that's another thing, I've got into the acting now as well over the last 5 years, you know. So I've been bringing a few actors onto the show as well, you know. So there'll be no shortage of guests, you know. And luckily enough, I know most of them. So there's that chemistry there straight away, you know, when the show starts.
Now, talking about acting, right, you say you're doing it. Tell us about your acting, because you were in Wildflowers to play Wildflowers.
Yeah.
And when me and Margie first went to see Wildflowers, we just thought it was fantastic. The music, who does the music to Wildflowers? Mal French. Mal French. He's a genius, Mal French. And when we went to see Wildflowers, Margie came out with me and she was so passionate, and she went, why isn't that on tour? Why isn't that in the West End? It's a fantastic play.
It is a good play. It was written by Flanagan, as you know. And it's loosely based on true events, you know. And it's very personal to Franny. But you're right, it could have gone on tour, that play. It's very, very strong social message.
Isn't it
in
just?
The play,
isn't it just? I think it would have made a brilliant feature film. I really think it would have made a...
I'm not too sure. I think the original script was for a film, you know.
Was it? It would
and
make
Franny,
a brilliant film.
Changed it for theatre, you know. Great play. Loved it. Loved doing it.
How did you get involved with that?
I just got a phone call again. Everything else, I just fall into these things, you know.
I'll have a go.
And it was John Mitchell actually. Who phoned me one night, and he said, "Look, I went with this cast, and the play's going to be called Wildflowers. And instead of finding actors who can sing, they're looking for singers and see if they can act a little bit, you know." So I went along, and I knew a few of the lads there anyway. And I just stayed with it. I enjoyed it, you know. Then from then on, we've done the Morgue Table.
That was brilliant as well.
Done that off half a dozen times, you know. And then the next one is the Pally de Scratch, which you're in yourself, sir.
I am in that, I am, I've got a little part in that. And what's making me feel good about that is, for a change, I'm going to be playing somebody who's a little bit of a nicer person. I always get cast as these these angry heads or baddies. This particular character, Nelson in Wildflowers, he's kind of he's a guy who's not quite sure of his sexuality.
Pally de Scratch, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Pally de Scratch. He's not quite sure of his sexuality. He's a bit confused, a bit insecure, and it's just a different kind of character. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's coming up in September. We've just started the rehearsals. I've just been kind of called into the rehearsals now because they're starting to block our parts. So I'm looking forward to that.
Very funny character that you play, so you'll have a laugh doing that.
But Franny is a good writer, isn't he?
You know what? It's great. The good thing about it, it's his heart. It comes through in the writing. The passion comes through in the writing. It's great, you know.
But the other thing which I love is it's that little team. And like I say, getting back, Mal French, I know he's a great guitarist in his own right, and I think he's in a group called the Drum
Monkeys.
But as a musical director and arranger, and it just sounds like a full orchestra. And everything is so it's just, the music's just fantastic.
Well, I think, that's the point, the music. What a lot of people don't appreciate, these are all original scores. It's not that easy to do, you know.
I know.
And he does a great job, but he enjoys it. And that's half the battle, you know.
And do you know what really caught when because of course I went just along just as a fan to watch Wildflowers, but there was one song that really got me, and that was Brutal Skies. And that was you singing Brutal
Skies,
We're going to have to get we're going to have to get the guitarist in. We're going to have to get Mal French in and do that live.
Well, do you know what? There was the first time we done that play was before we took it to the theatres in town. We done it on Crosby Civic Hall, and there was a few lads there from Bootle in the audience that night. And when they heard Brutal Skies, I think it's a football team and they start singing it now
beautiful song,
in the dressing room, and I thought, you know, just from that play, you just don't know. You just don't know. You know.
Blue Skies. What was the other one you done?
The Morgue Table. I only sang the one song.
In the Morgue Table. Didn't you play?
Officer Ball.
Officer Ball, Screwball.
Screwball, yeah.
You sing a few songs in that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll sing one song in that. What was it? Do you remember?
It was Lights Out Lads.
Yeah.
You play like this. Jailer, don't you? And you've got these keys. Well, it's lights out, lads. It's time to go. You're like a little Hitler.
It was like Mackay off porridge, you know.
That's where you nicked it from. That's where you nicked it from.
Well, thankfully, I haven't been in jail, so I didn't have any frame of reference for the character, you know. So I started watching a few episodes of porridge, and I thought,
So, on the theatre thing, what's the next then? It's Palais de Scratch.
Palais de Scratch, yeah, and then next year there's a play that we're going to be doing called The Vatican Sting.
This is another Franny one.
It is a Franny Conlon play, but I've helped them, but it's sort of we come up with the idea together, you know, and that'll be a good play. That'll be a good play.
And I also believe you're actually a lyricist as well, aren't you?
Well, you know what? I've wrote about half a dozen songs, or the lyrics to songs.
Yeah.
But I'm not prolific in any.
But there is a collaboration coming up, I believe. And it's John Prosser collaborating.
I'll give John the lyrics and to all six.
Yeah.
I'll see what he comes up with, you know. But they're all about something.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you know if I hear of anything and it sparks something, I'll try and write something about it, you know.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
That should be good, so Mike.
So have we got a little thing where we're going to get back on this then with John, and you're going to show us how you're getting on, you and John, with this work?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm just waiting for John now, you know. I know he's a busy lad.
Yeah.
And you know, but they've been in the bag for years, so
good stuff.
Another couple of months won't make any difference, you know.
Do you know what, we're going to have to just wrap it up there a little bit, because I can hear somebody at the bell outside, so if you just excuse me, we'll wrap this up for now and we will talk again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.